Well, if you don't know about the history of the cottage as far as we know it, the first reference I found to it is on the a tile map of 1773. It is shown on that. Of course, it doesn't mention whether it's a weaver's cottage or not, but it was there. And the beautiful thing about this cottage is that it hasn't changed very little since it was built. That is its great beauty. And that is simply because one old person has followed another old person into it, and they haven't wanted the upset of changed. After the Second World War, most houses were what they were called brought up to date. This escaped that. And I'll perhaps just tell you a few of the features that might show that out. The floor is flagged as it was originally. In those days, it was scattered with what was known as callous sand, like butchers' shops and barbers' shops are scattered with sawdust. When I heard about callous sand from my grandparents and other old people, I wondered really, what about callous sand was. And then, by chance, I came across a very, very old shop bill, and it was Calais sand. It came from France, it was Calais. And making further inquiries, it's a very hard quartz, fine quartz. When it's put on the floor, if you come out of the street, which is muddy, which they were then, they weren't macadam, the grate picks it up, and therefore it is easier to sweep. So that solved me the problem. What I'd always heard was referred to as callous sand, was Calais sand. The other great beauty about the cottage is that the walls are hand plastered. If we took the plaster off, we would see it was built with fairly fine stone, narrow stone, which I believe is called par pointing. But in later years, as people began to want better living conditions, they wanted the walls smooth. And what they did here is, well, of course, the simplest answer. They took some lime and some grit, probably callous sand, and some cow hair, mixed it together and just plastered it on the wall. And nowhere in the building is there one piece of smooth plaster. A trowel and a float has never been used. It has been done with hand completely. And in a few places, you can see where the man who's been doing it has rested for a minute, and the palm of his thumb has left a mark. He's left a mark for 2 centuries anyway. That is.